Okay, so I had to come on here and I had to talk about the breakthrough that I had and like this. I know it's a big change. Like it feels so different and it looks so different, but the feeling is amazing. I mean, like, I can't even describe to you what it feels like to be in my natural hair color. So let me let me back up a little bit. Okay. It's been close to 30 years, about 30 years. 30 years since I last saw my natural hair color. I have been dyeing my hair since I was in like 5th grade. That's how long I've been dyeing my hair. So, let me give a little bit of a backstory to it. So, when I was younger, I had a friend that I would sleep over at her house quite often, and I would get lice. And it was so difficult for, like, back then, the treatment of lice was very limited and it was a rough process. And so it was one of those things that my mom finally decided to dye my hair because, well, those are some pretty harsh chemicals. And so why not try that? And that kind of like started the whole process. So ever since then, I've always been dyeing my hair. Little bit of a backstory in the fact that I wasn't allowed because my father was very strict about the colors. Like there was no crazy colors. Accidentally at one time with Kool-Aid for Crazy Hair Day, I used red and blue and that didn't go so well. That stuff doesn't come out. Just so you know, if you want a really easy dye that is super cheap, Kool-Aid. Just saying, Kool-Aid packets work great. But okay, so that was the only like time that I ever really dyed my hair any color. Stuck mostly with blonde, a little bit of brown every once in a while, a little bit of brown on the bottom. This is going to date me. The ombre with blonde on top and brown on the bottom. Had that one as well. I mean, those are really just the ones that I could get away with. And then I was married to a man that also was very controlling, and he would not allow any colors whatsoever. Like you had to be the blonde. That was it. That's all I had to have. Couldn't go any other color. Had to stay blonde. And so once I got out of that divorce and everything, I wanted to try something. I wanted to try different colors. So if you look on my Facebook page, you'll see some of the pictures of like when I first created my Facebook page, the very beginning. That's whenever I started playing with colors. And it felt so funny because like it felt wrong in a way. Like I felt like I was going to get in trouble for putting the colors in my hair. So I didn't even go all out crazy. I went half blonde on top and half with the 3 other colors on the bottom because I was too scared. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble and it's going to look crazy and people aren't going to like it. And these are real thoughts. These are real thoughts. And then later after that, I went with more of a pink and green, and that one was where I weaved in, and this is all me, by the way, like I've been dyeing my own hair. I learned how to do the ombre from my hairstylist, and then after that I've just kind of done my own thing. Like I do my own hair, except for this was me giving myself something nice, not doing it, like letting go of control. But we'll get to that one. Yes, so this was me. Like I finally went and I did the weave with the blonde and the green on the bottom, and weave with the blonde and the pink on the top. I was going for like a Meat City kind of look because I love Meat City in Demon Slayer, and because I love love, and plus I love pink and green. Pink and green are the higher and the physical heart chakras, and so higher, I mean, just vibrationally higher. So I was going in that direction where my mind in that kind of situation was like, I wanted to bring more love into my life. So I was going to kind of like embody the Meat City kind of like figure. So stepping a little bit more outside my comfort zone and allowing myself to be seen more. After that, well, that's when things got a little bit crazy because, see, that's whenever I had my mental breakdown. And in that time frame, I knew I had to go and I had to actually get a job. I had to get mental help, and I had to start like really pulling myself together. So I knew subconsciously that I was going to have to face some really deep and dark stuff. So subconsciously, I had to protect myself, is the best way to look at it. So what I did is I used the fact that my kids and I were going to be doing a movie for the Five Nights at Freddy's FNAF. When that first movie came out, we were going to go see the movie for my son, and we were all dressing up in cosplay. And I was being a character that I have no clue who they are. I don't really know much about it except for what I've been told. Never played the games, seen my son play the games. They all love the games. And like, I know of the songs, but I do like a lot of their songs. But I didn't know much about it. So I played a character that had brown hair. So what I did is I went out and I dyed my hair a darker brown. Now, when I say darker brown, I mean like more of a deep, darker brown. I was trying to look less attractive subconsciously. I was putting that out there because I knew that I was going to be triggered by getting hit on if I stayed blonde, because that is one of the best looks, I would say, on me. But it's also one of the looks that, fit the persona that I was playing for a very long time up until this point. So I'll have to explain that one later, maybe in another video. Actually, I will explain it in another video, but still. Okay, so I was going dark brown at that point. And slowly, if you know anything about dyeing hair, you bleach it too much, it kills off all your hair. So when I went deep dark brown, as I was slowly coming out of my mental health, I was slowly lightening my hair over and over and over again, and getting closer and closer to blonde. Then at one point, whenever I moved here to my new place in Tooele, I finally got to a point of where I finally was going to dye my hair again. Like, it was time to really like get comfortable. Like, I dyed it before I left, but I let it grow out and everything like that, and get a little bit, unkempt and stuff like that, because, well, let's be real, I was working a lot, and sleep and food and kids were higher priority. That's it. But so it was one of those things that when I finally dyed my hair again here, it was just recently. Like, I dyed my hair again and I kept going blonde. And then just recently, someone pointed out, well, why don't you go back to your original hair color? And I just kind of like thought about it, and it was like, well, I had all these excuses, I had all these reasons. Well, because of the fact that, I look better blonde. Blonde fits my personality better, like I had all of these reasons why. I never actually sat with myself and really looked at why. Why was I being blonde? Why was I staying blonde? And it finally dawned on me. Like, I had this huge revelation, and it was like, okay, it's time. It's time to go back to my roots, quite literally, like my roots. I'm funny. I love myself. Um, so I went back to my roots, and I really thought about it. Okay, so why was I staying blonde for so long? I didn't like the upkeep of blonde because bleaching your hair is so destructive to your hair. It hurts it so freaking bad. And when you do it, you have to do all of these repairs after you bleach it. You know, it's like cutting yourself and then like fixing the wound and then cutting yourself again and then fixing the wound. It's like it stays continuous. There's still a wound there. You're still breaking it. You're still hurting yourself. And that's what I was doing to my hair. I'm not taking good care of my hair. I slowly started to accept myself recently with the blonde hair still, because this is my natural curl. I mean, I was going to bring it down so that you can see that when I pull it up, I have these, like, I have some automatic, like, curls that come out. There's so many little ringlet curls that I have that I just, that's my natural hair. I have been destroying my hair for like the past forever. For absolutely ever. I have been destroying my hair because I wanted to look a certain way. I was trying so hard to run away from myself. So I was trying to create an image that I thought that I wanted to be. So for such a long time, and I think, and this is just like from my own personal experience, because of the trauma that happened to me as a child, because of the sexual abuse, I blamed my body for a very long time. And this goes hand in hand with my how I physically feel about myself, you know, my physical appearance, like my body image and all of that stuff. Because that's a whole other video that I'll be doing as well, is about body image and everything like that. And so it goes hand in hand. It's an all around thing, okay? I hated my body and my hair, and I hated my body because I blamed myself for what happened. I wanted so badly to get away from my body. I wanted to alter it. I wanted to change it. I wanted to physically be somebody else, be something else, because I felt responsible for what happened when it really wasn't my fault. Like, I laugh now because it's like, how absurd does that sound to believe that it's your fault? But when you are in those moments, you feel like you're the one causing it. You feel like you are the one that brought this on you when it wasn't you. You are a victim to what happened to you. You didn't make it happen. You did not ask for it. You did not physically create that. It's not your fault. And for the longest time, I had to find that in my own self. Like, anybody could tell me it's not your fault. But I had to find it by finding myself again, becoming my old self again, and and loving that part of me. So I think at the young age, because I loved my Barbies so much, and I used to play with my Barbie dolls all the time, I think at that point I somehow associated beauty with what Barbie looked like. And so I was trying to be like Barbie. Like, I wanted to physically look like Barbie. And so the blonde hair, the long, straight blonde hair, especially, I was going for that kind of look. Plus, growing up as a teenager, I also read Cosmo magazine. That was my Bible at a very young age, which was not a good idea. Learned a lot of good things. Let's, plus side to that one. But as a teenager who was sexually abused, that was not a good thing. That was really one of the worst things I could have done, because there are things in there that was and especially Cosmo back in the 90s, in the 2000s. Oof. That's no. That's not good for a teenager that has very low self-esteem and body dysmorphia and like all of that, and not a good thing. But I looked at those magazines as a teenager and wanted to be like those people as well. So I was trying so hard to not be me. And it wasn't until recently that I made some changes in my life, and I saw other people going out and, re-dyeing their hair and doing the crazy colors and all of that stuff. And I was just like, okay, that's interesting. I don't want to do the colors, but I don't want to do blonde again. And then I had to really stop and think about it. And it was like, oh, what if I went back to my old color? And then I got to thinking about it even more. And I was just like, I started having these memories of whenever I was really young. And I used to play with my hair. And I used to like play with it in the sun. And I could see the different, my hair was longer back then. It wasn't this short. But I could see the flecks of red and gold in my hair, because there's red that runs on my father's side of the family, and gold, I don't know, maybe my mom's, not sure. I just know that red runs on my father's side of the family. And so like the red and the gold and the brown in my hair, I loved it. I always thought it was so pretty, because like in my head I thought of the gold as if it was like back with Rumpelstiltskin and the golden thread, and I used to think of it like that, like golden thread in my hair, that kind of stuff. And so it finally dawned on me that that's what I wanted. I wanted that back, and that was me, and I love that about me. And so like I decided yesterday, I made the appointment like a month ago and everything. And yesterday I was seriously debating it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I should do it. And I said, okay, let's go. And when I went in, I did it, and I felt this huge sense of joy. And it's so weird to say that, because like I felt this huge sense of joy, because it's like it's just a hair color, but it's like it's me, it's my hair color, it's my original color, and I'm coming back to myself, to the roots of who I am. I'm grounding myself into this body and being proud of this body and being grateful for it, and not taking it for granted and not killing it, you know. This kind of all also, just a like little side note, this also kind of started whenever I quit caffeine and I started to take more like consistent care of my body, and I'm doing more and more. It's like the more I heal and the better I take care of my body, the more I love my body, because really we wouldn't be killing our hair. We wouldn't be, you know, drinking caffeine, which is something that has, it's not that great for your body. I mean, there are positive side effects, like, don't get me wrong, there are good things that you can say about it. I have done the research, I've heard it all. Believe me, nutritionist that I'm working on, I do understand it. But it also is, in excessive amounts, is not good for you. And so I'm cutting out even more stuff, because like even at the job that I'm working at, I was like convincing myself that I needed caffeine to be able to function at work, because 12-hour shifts, you know, you're definitely on the go and you are like busy all the time. All the time. So I thought, oh, well, I need it to focus. I need it to function. No, I don't. It was just an excuse. Another reason to keep poisoning myself. And so now we're at this point where I'm like letting go of so many things, and it's, I love this feeling. I love this feeling. Letting go and coming back home. So I encourage you guys to go out there and let go of something. Like, come back home to yourself in some way. Think of a way that you have been running from your own self, okay? Where have you been trying to destroy, or trying to, you know, break down, or trying to do something that hurts you, when really and truly you need to start coming back home? You need to start being grateful and loving this vessel, this meat suit that you got here, that you're going to be in for this round here on earth. How are you going to make it last? How are you going to treat it? Okay? So, I love you all, and have a beautiful, blessed day. I gotta go pick up my daughter now, because she is texting me like crazy, and she needs a ride home. So, I love you all. Be blessed, and take care of yourselves, okay?